Jesus Christ was a handsome man. He had nothing to hide. He said, give bread to the hungry, bring the homeless inside. Jesus Christ was a dangerous man. That's the way that he died. He said, be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Be good to the people. Be good to the people. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Dr. King was a preacher. He had God on his side. He said, all God's children are brothers. Don't cast your brother aside. Dr. King was a dangerous man. That's the way that he died. He said, be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Be good to the people. Be good to the people. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. There ain't nothing more criminal than kindness. There ain't nothing more valuable than blindness. We'll make anyone a martyr who'll remind us that everybody's got a right to be free. Be good to the people. Be good to those people. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. One more. Be good to the people. Be good to the people. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. I said love everybody alive. One more. Love everybody alive.
Sarah's song, the song that Sarah performed, she did not write, prefaced those two great leaders, Jesus and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., to inspire us all to love one another and to not let anyone really be outside of our circle of love. And it reminded me that a few weeks ago I asked, didn't really plan sitting in this chair when I chose this short dress. I asked, what we know about the teachings and the life of Jesus, though not as extensive as we might think we know, is that he was often found with the people that had been pushed to the margins, people in that growing cultural, social, political, and religious zeitgeist, if you will, of the time. Certain people belong in certain capacity and others don't. And we still have that working today. And I asked, why do you think he did that? Why do you think he was often teaching and healing and loving those people? I wonder if you have any thoughts about that. I think what we said the last time I asked was that his message was one of love and inclusion and compassion. And his message was also one to say, you have this capacity of the divine. He said God the Father. We don't say that anymore because it comes with all sorts of limitations. The propensity for us as human beings to humanize God. Not that there's anything wrong with our humanness, but that puts a lot of limitation on this powerful, energetic source of all that is, right? To say, do this. And do it by Friday at 2. So he was going to people, yes, who were perhaps feeling left out, who were suffering, who were hurting. And in part, they could hear that message that the power, the kingdom of God is within you. Perhaps a little clearer because they weren't as tied into the growing kingdoms of the world. Does someone say that's true? Go ahead, you can say it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Part of this turning that we're experiencing, that the sort of so much is coming into the light about some of the systems that we have all been a part of, for better or worse, and how they've gotten in us, how they confine us, how they restrain us, and how then we act out of that way toward other people. So Jesus was a master teacher. So he was, as I like to say, feeding 2 birds with 1 scone. That's good. You can laugh at that. He was loving people, helping people, healing people, supporting people who had been cast out and who could also hear what he was teaching, perhaps a little more clearly. How many of you have ever been in upside down, dire straits? You've tried all the things you know how to do, and finally, when you're on your floor in a puddle of tears, you say, maybe there's another way. Oh, they're going to raise their hands. Amen. Look at you. That's the level of, you see the correlation there? These are the people who feel that way. So they're like, what is this man going to tell me? Because all he's ever shown me is love and compassion. I want to listen to this message. So that's your direct experience of what is needed, the capacity of our humanity to hold on and be sure we know how to do it and resist it. No, I don't need any help. No, I don't need any support. No, I don't need to pray. The line from the book that we're loosely using for this series on affirmative prayer by Linda Martella Whitsitt, entitled How to Pray Without Talking to God, that reminded me of that question I asked you and reminded me about, both Jesus and Martin Luther King Jr., who were preaching and teaching and loving people who were hurting, who had been left out, and who were suffering atrocities at the hands of their fellow humans. The line that stood out to me from her book was this: pain recedes in the face of spiritual realization. Pain recedes in the face of spiritual realization. So we're back to love and compassion. Jesus is going to the people who are in pain and telling them they are more than their pain, and they matter more than they are being told, and they are more powerful than they know. And that is true for all of us. And this unique approach to prayer in terms of affirmative prayer, which is the approach that Unity teaches, which is not the only approach. I won't even say it's the right approach. Thank you, Doris, last week for setting the tone. It is an approach. And its uniqueness is that it turns our attention from the issue, from the problem, from the lack, from the disease, from the financial hardship, whatever it is, to what's the antidote for that? Wholeness, health, well-being, understanding, abundance. We're not denying that those issues exist, but it's that old, it's the old saying from Albert Einstein. If you want, you can't create a solution from the same level of consciousness that created it, right? And so if we want to really treat it, we want to set our mind and our heart on a higher truth that's always present, even in the midst of lack and illness and fear, right? So the purpose of affirmative prayer is that it is the complement to this deep truth that we're learning, that we are divine at our core. We are an expression of divine beingness. So to what are we praying? Really what we want to do is tune into that, to know that, to feel that, to have an experience of that from within. Now, I want to say this, that I think one of my most powerful prayers has actually been when I've said, "Oh my God, please help me." Because I wouldn't let go. I wouldn't let go of thinking I didn't need help, or thinking I could figure it out, or thinking something was wrong with me, all that stuff that we do to ourselves. Because asking in that way offers us up to a level of surrender. And surrender isn't laying down and letting everyone mow over you. There's this strange connotation with surrender. It's for the weak. Never surrender. How's that working? I can tell you, for me, not well. And so in that moment where I open up to, where you can open up to, there is a higher knowing, there is a higher presence, there is a higher power, and I need to open up to it. And in the moment of surrender, you don't care where the power is. You're not like, well, is it there? Is it here? Is it a person? No, just please, God, help me. But when we're not in that level of crisis, where we're just wanting to participate in, perhaps we have a relationship challenge, we can take that into a time of prayer and fixate on what's challenging about it and what that person does that's so annoying and how that triggers us and where that came from. Oh, that was back when that happened. It's 1970 now. And because we know our thoughts are powerful, when our thoughts are fixated around the issue, the problem, and all the ways it's limiting us and damaging us and pissing us off, what do we experience more of? Yes. Isn't this fun? Linda Martella Whitsitt tells a story this way in the book. So the premise is this, that our thoughts and our feelings, especially our thoughts empowered by our feelings, have power over our experience. They are reflective in what we even can see and what we look for. And so before you go to blaming yourself for your thoughts. The truth is, you can change them at any time. That's the good news and the bad news, right? Because a well-worn path doesn't get well-worn overnight. So some of our habitual ways of thinking and our beliefs that limit us are well-worn, aren't they? And so it's a practice to create new paths that stem from there is more to me than my limitations, than my mistakes, even than my goals and my successes. Those are great, but there's more to me than that. Because what'll happen? Successes fade, don't they? Goals become less important at some point, unless it's a water slide. So we want to be constantly impressing upon our mind, our subconscious mind, our conscious mind, and our world the highest truth about ourselves and each other that we can fathom. It's a great mission statement from our co-founder Charles Fillmore that make it your mission to express all that you can imagine God to be in your life right here, right now. And some of you should right away say, ooh, I need to grow my version of God. That's good. That's a good starting place too. We're not talking about punishment. We're not talking about guilt. We're not talking about all the stuff you may have learned. I don't know God to be that way. In terms of the divine principle of life and love and wisdom, it's forever giving. Forever lifting up. So in that story that I started to tell you and then stopped, there's a family that moves to a new town. And there's a man that often sits on his porch in his rocking chair. He's retired. He likes to just chat with the neighbors and keep an eye on everybody. And the woman of the new family sees him and says, oh God, we just moved to this town. What can you tell me about the people that live here? And he says, well, what were the people like in the town you just left? Oh, they were terrible. We couldn't wait to get out of there. They were unkind. You might find people like that here too. A month later, new family moves in, same thing. Woman walks by. What are the people like in this town? What were the people like in the town you left? Oh, we're so sad to leave. We loved them. They were so kind and compassionate. You'll probably find people like that in this town too. So the image, the lesson there is we tend to find what we're looking for. And I always want to say, don't crash down on yourself if life isn't going the way you want it right now. There's many reasons, but recognize the power of your own thoughts and your own expectations. Recognize the capacity that we find what we're looking for. You know, I'm guessing many of you have been struggling lately. There's a lot going on in our world. And there's a lot of energy that I'm picking up on. And that's a good thing because as if you've been here a while, you've followed my journey through, I just think about my feelings. I'm not connected to them. And as I have done the work to connect myself, to free the places and the spaces that I've disconnected from long ago out of legitimate reasons, protective reasons, I can feel more joy and more life, but I can also feel all this fret and frenetic, anxious energy. And so I want to just acknowledge if you're feeling that, it may not all be all of yours. You are open, you're receiving, you're receptive to what's going on around you. And that is good, I think. And you also have to take care of yourself to not get inundated with it. But to acknowledge that I feel like we are on this precarious, we're in that in-between place where there's a lot of fear and a lot of unknown and a lot of unrest, and there's a lot of possibility and a whole shift of how we can be in a new way. And so what do you expect matters. What do you give your energy to matters. What's the percentage? Only 30% of humanity is needed to pull up. When the radiancy, the vibrancy, the energy of positivity, and I'm not saying stick your head in the sand, I'm saying of love. Those higher frequencies, they pull, they have more density and more power than the lower ones. So pull them up, believe in them, expect them. There was a man at the restaurant the other night who was like dancing. And he was like, your outfits are so cute. You if you look for it, people are there. They're in it with you. I ordered a new coffee at the Starbucks, and I was like, is it really caffeinated? Because I get crazy with caffeination. And this kid leans forward and he's like, well, let's think about that. How sensitive are you? And I was like, well, we don't, no. Just tell, is it espresso or is it regular? We don't need to have a therapy session, but he was there for it. So the best and the worst is coming up. And we all have it within us, don't we? Oh, this is fun sitting down. You want to stay a while longer? No, I know you don't. We're gonna do a little experiment with this. I want to invite you into a time of meditation where I will guide you using this particular invocation. I invite you to use it. If you have something, if it doesn't resonate with you, it's okay. I invite you to try it in this experience. So again, I'll just invite you to take a deep breath, move your body a little bit. I know you've been sitting still. Do what you need to do to get comfortable to sit still for a moment and have this experience. Taking a deep breath. Again, grounding yourself by feeling your feet on the earth, your back on the chair. And I just invite you to consider, to bring to mind any area in your life, anything where you might be looking for healing, for more energy, for greater connection, financial sufficiency, mental clarity, something that you would consider a prayer request, right? In this moment. Doesn't have to be giant. In fact, pick something that maybe isn't giant. But get that in mind, something that you're working with, something that you'd like to experience differently. And sort of allow yourself to hone in on the details a little bit. Does it involve someone else? Does it involve mostly something going on inside of you? No right or wrong, you're just honing in on this situation that's going to act as your prayer request for this experience. And so now that you've kind of got the thing and a few of the details, I will invite you to, again, no right or wrong, no one's going to know this but you, to offer this up in a traditional way of praying that I just shared with you. Just opening up to some help in this experience. Opening up to the idea that you may not, of yourself, of your own human mind, have all the answers. So a bridge into surrender, if you will. Are you open to a solution that you may not even know of yet? Can you be open to that? And if the answer is no, then your meditation is to consider why not. But if the answer is yes, and I hope that's the majority of you, to just be willing, then I invite you to take a breath, and I offer you this powerful invocation to center yourself in a higher possibility. So as you breathe in, I'd like you to take these words as your own. I am the presence of pure beingness. Emanating the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom right here, right now. Right here, right now, I am all that the divine is expressing at the point of me. As I express divine wisdom, all thoughts of human limitation have no power over me. For in truth, I am the substance and power of pure love. That is the truth of me. Receive that power, align with that power, experience it within you. Right here, right now. That is your own divine nature. Identify with it, however it speaks to you, calls to you. From this grand idea that I am, you are the power of pure beingness, expressing right here, right now. There is nothing that you can't do from that awareness. There's nothing that you can't be from that awareness. So breathe in that truth. Let it empower you. Let it guide you and sustain you. And look back at your request, at your issue, at your concern. Is there something from a higher vantage point that calls your attention? Receive that. And know that if nothing has come, your intent to receive it has been received. You have shifted something. And stick with that. And again, be reminded that pain recedes with spiritual realization. And so if you are in pain, and as we know our world is in pain, this is the power of spiritual realization for ourselves individually and for our world. to know this divine truth of our being. To know we don't have to earn it. It cannot be taken away from us. It cannot be corrupted. It is the truth of us. And as we let it be, it becomes a reality. And so we give thanks for this continued unfoldment of our consciousness to recognize and wrap ourselves around the fullness of our own being. And that is expressing in all of life, all people. And there's no denying that not all people are acting from that awareness, but it does not mean that it does not exist within them. Just as it doesn't mean it hasn't existed in us when we weren't aware. So we call forward the good that dwells in each and every person here and in each and every person alive. May they know it, may they be it, may they trust it, may they expect it. And may they heed the call. And so it is. I've taken to, and so it is has been the close to prayers for so long. I've heard a new one that really resonates because we've been working, if you haven't been here, it's okay. Our last series was really working with this idea of the soul as our divine nature. We called it the soul versus our human nature. We're both equal. And they don't need to oppose each other. They are part of our whole experience. We're equally human and equally divine. And so I'm taking now to something I've heard called, and soul it is. And soul it is. So we pick our soul over our limitations. And soul it is. Were you going to clap? Oh, I thought somebody was clapping. Okay. So this is our journey through affirmative prayer. It will continue through the month of August. I want to share also, I'm switching, a few announcements. I want to offer some great gratitude for those of you who supported the school supply. What are you looking at me like that for? Yeah, slides. I might be out of order, but you can do it. Thank you. I am out of order. There we go. We met our goal of, I think we even exceeded our goal. We wanted to offer 20 backpacks full of the school supplies for the school supply drive that were delivered last week. So thank you. You bought things or you offered money to make that happen. And several of our families got together with their children and packed those backpacks. So, yay for us, yes. Also want to just draw your attention in your bulletin. There's a whole August at a glance. We have all sorts of things going on. You can't possibly see that, but you get the idea. A plethora of things going on that you are all encouraged and welcomed to join. Coming up for us next Friday night, is that right? Saturday night is game night, August 9th. We asked that you sign up because last time we only had 2 people signed up and we thought, well, that's going to be 4 people at game night. Not that 4 people don't matter, but it's also a potluck, so what are we going to eat? You see how this goes. So if you're interested in coming, just let us know. And if you don't show up, it's okay. But then we have an idea. Yes, people are interested in this. And then on Sunday evening, August 10th, we have Matthew Cosell returning. He's known as the cosmic throat singer. Just let that sink in. The cosmic throat singer will be right here at Unity of Denver on next Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. I saw him last time. It's amazing what he does. His capacity of, well, cosmic throat singing. And he has all of these different instruments, gongs and rain sticks. It's like a whole journey experience. So I hope you will take advantage of that. If he is in the area that morning, he's going to stop in and do a little demo for you. But he didn't know where he would be staying, so I can't promise you that. And then I also just want to make mention that the process of dreaming the dream that many of you were involved in over the past few months continues. We have been working a little bit behind the scenes, but things are moving forward, and you will be hearing more about them starting next week. There are some groups forming. There are some opportunities coming. We have done some great work with coordinating some volunteer efforts. That continues to happen. So although you haven't heard much about it, things are happening, and in the next few weeks you will be hearing more explicitly about that, okay? So thank you for that. Thank you for all of you who've participated in that and who are stepping up to help out in the many ways and participate in the many things that we are bringing your way. And lastly, I just want to, I have to stand up. How do you sit there that long? All this, you're wondering the same thing. You can get up and move anytime. I just want to remind you that it is your participation, your engagement, and for your spiritual growth and well-being that this Unity Spiritual Center Denver exists at all. And so all the ways that you help with your volunteerism and that you show up with your presence to participate within our programming, and certainly in your monetary gifts that support all that we do here. 100% of what we do at Unity Spiritual Center Denver is done through your donations, which is amazing. So thank you for that. I ask you every Sunday to claim your part in our mission as we say this together. We inspire authentic connection with the divine self and others for spiritual growth, healing, and loving service in the world. So know that what you give financially goes in service of this mission. There are baskets in the back where you can leave your cash and check. Many of you give electronically, which we are so grateful for. There's a QR code in your bulletin where you can learn how to set that up if you haven't already. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Sarah, for singing us another beautiful song, this time the one that you wrote. Yes, so we're looking forward to hearing that. Thank you. Clap. Let it out. Let it out.
Junie, the universe is in your eyes. Junie, it opens up when you smile. You are love, love, you see love, love, you are love, love, in a sea of love. Junie, I ate some mushrooms in my bed. Junie, they walked me right up to the edge. I am love, to see love. I am love, love, a sea of love. Junie, you touch the world with your small hands. Junie, hold mine so I